What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be giving some tips, some advice on reloading 8x50 because I've had a fair amount of people ask me how I make my reloads and what I do for them. So the first thing, my first reloads I ever did was with a PPU recycled from 8x56. So the whole thing that I did, I would take out the 8x56 bullet, powder, and primers, and I would put them in a slightly shortened down 7.62 by 54R. Now let's start off with the brass. So 7.62 by 54R is 53 millimeters in length, which their original 8x50 here is 50 point something millimeters, so this was a little long. Now, however, you can shoot it if it'll shoot, but it'll stick most of the time, kind of like jam a little bit. So I would suggest trimming it just a little bit. I've literally just filed it down with a hand file and it cycles perfectly now. But anyways, so for reloading, they do make specifically 8x50 dies, but they're pretty expensive and hard to find. So I just went with the next best thing, label dies, just from Lee. Fairly cheap, easy to find at least. And I just run the 7.62 through there, and I can load as much as 8x50 as I want. It just works the same way. It's more cost effective for if you don't want to spend that much money on specifically made dies for the 8x50. So for my first load that I did, like I said, it was this from the 8x56. I used the recycled PPU powder, which going through load data was pretty low. I only put 45 grains in to see what my first loads would be. It shot, I would say, 8 inches below target point at 50 yards, and I thought it was just because of the sights. I didn't know if it was the velocity of the bullet. Well, it turns out it was mostly the velocity of the bullet. It was only traveling around high 1500, mid 1600 FPS from PPU powder, and that was only 45 grains of it. So I did some more research. I had people suggest different powder for me, and I came up with these two, 4350 and 4895. So 4895 is a fast burning powder, works pretty good in carbines or the full length rifle. So 40 grains of that got me high 1800, mid to low 1900. It stays pretty consistent, works really good, and expanding the brass really good. Now for 4350, I ran into a problem because I was suggested to use only 40 grains of it, not knowing that the pressure in this is not pressure, but I guess to say the pressure, the expansion is pretty slow. So at 40 grains, I had gas blowback actually out of the bolt of the rifle, got in my face, and it was pretty unsafe in my opinion. So I kind of set that powder to the side. Granted, I added more powder, so first, when I ran it through the chronograph, it was 40 grains of powder was getting me 1400 feet FPS. So that was really low. So I pushed up the powder to 45 grains to see where that would get me. I even did some cotton filler to see if that would make a difference. And 45 grains got me a little better results. I didn't get gas blowback. The case expanded perfectly fine, but it was still pretty low. It was mid 1600 FPS at that point. So I definitely needed to add a little more powder. Now, when I updated the PPU recycled powder from the 8x56, I used 48 grains of that powder, which got me right at 1900 feet to 1950, which was pretty good. It was hitting spot on the target really nicely, but that one's definitely a more lower pressure powder, more filling up the case, which I had no problem with. But anyways, yeah, so definitely I got all the load data in here and my little journal. But yeah, so when reloading for the 8x50, if you have multiple different rifles, you might run into a problem with some of your cases that you've already shot not fitting in other rifles. I've had this happen with a fair amount of them because I have two M95s, or no, three M95s, two 88/90s, two 88/95s, and one of the M95s and one of the 88/90s can chamber the same sized round, while the others can't. The other ones have to have a more fresh made kind because they're a lot tighter in the chambers. So do just a little quick check, like take your round after making it, slide in there, see if it's too tight, see if it's too loose, because if you try and chamber it, it'll just jam in there, bullet will get lodged, and stuff will just be bad. But yeah, so that's my thing on the 8x50. If you have any questions on how exactly I did it, or if you need any more advice, like, this is just here to give you guys an idea of what you can do for 8x50 if you want to get specific things like military style or other kind of load data. You'll probably have to look that up, but this is just to give you guys an idea of where you can start, what powders are good, what you expect from them, and like just the baseline of it. Well, this was supposed to be a little bit quicker video, however it wasn't, so I hope you all have a good one. Hope you had a great Christmas, hope you have a great New Year, and see you in 2023. Oh, also, I almost forgot to mention bullet size. So the chambers on these rifles are a 330-329, and 8x56 bullets are the 330-329 as well. Soft points are 329, FMJs are 330, and they fit perfectly fine in these rifles, perfectly safe. You don't need to get a bullet mold, don't have to only cast for these, because original military bullets were a 323, but their base expanded to the bore size, and some people may think that you can't find those bullets, or you can't find a other kind of bullets using these, but 8x56 bullets will fit perfectly fine. These rifles will shoot perfectly fine. I've been accurate up to 100 yards with these, and I've had no problems whatsoever shooting them. Almost forgot to mention that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.